Let's do problem 4 now from the sample size exercises on page 158 of the course packet. So we have a large manufacturer of corrugated products that came under severe criticism because of its disposal of waste and everything. In its response, management launched a campaign to counter the bad publicity that it was receiving. The study of effectiveness of the campaign indicated that about 20% of the residents in the city were aware of the campaign and the company's position. In conducting the study, let's see, a sample of 480 was used with a 95% confidence interval. 6 months later, it was believed that now 40% of the residents were aware of the campaign. However, management decided to do another survey, and this time they specified a 99% confidence level with a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. So let's go take some notes. Let's go back to sketchbook. Worst case, pi equals 0.4. We want 99% confidence, which means that z is going to be 2.576. And let's see, we want a margin of error plus or minus 3%. So error is plus or minus 3%. All right, well, part A says, what sample would you recommend? Well, n is going to be z squared. So z squared is 2.576 squared times sigma squared. Now remember, your estimate of sigma squared is pi times 1 minus pi in the case of proportions. So this is going to be 0.4 times 0.6. Notice this is sigma squared. You don't need to square it. A real common mistake is to square that 0.24 then that results from that product. The margin of error is 0.03 squared. So if you do the math, you'll see that you need a sample of 1770. Let's read on. So the survey indicated that 35% of the population was aware of the campaign. Find a 99% confidence interval. So part B, we've done our survey of 1770. We found that P is 0.35. Now we have to find a 99% confidence interval. So let's start by finding the standard error. The standard error, again, is going to be 0.35 times 1 minus 0.35, which I believe is 0.65, divide by the sample size, which is 1770. That is your standard error. And let's see, where is that? Here it is, 0.01134, about 1%. Now let's go find the confidence interval. So it's 0.35 plus or minus 2.576 times 0.01134. This chunk right here is your margin of error. So the margin of error works out to be plus or minus 0.0222. Now notice we met our goal. So our goal is that we needed a margin of error plus or minus 3%. Well, we're well below that. Why did that happen? Well, the reason, again, is that if you plot pi versus pi times 1 minus pi, the variance of a Bernoulli trial, it looks like this. So we budgeted for 0.4, which is up here someplace. We came in with a 0.35, which is a bit lower, so the population is more homogeneous than we thought, and that's why the margin of error is tighter than we asked for. Okay, I'd recommend that you now do some of the other problems in this